I'm currently at the Upper Red Lake here in northern Minnesota at the Big Bog State Recreation Area, and I'm going to give you my review. So as you can see here, this is a beautiful little day use beach area. Saw some seagulls and I saw a great blue heron. I just walked the Big Bog Hiking Club trail up the road about another 12 minutes or so. What I liked about that hike was there was nobody else on the trail. Absolutely nobody else. I parked there, nobody was there. I went and hiked the trail, didn't see anybody else, and when I came back, nobody was there. Now, after about 10 minutes of sitting in my car, a different car did pull up, so I left so they could have, the same experience I did. Now, the Minnesota State book will tell you that the Bog Walk boardwalk is 2 miles, but to get to the boardwalk and to get back, it was actually closer to 2.4 miles is what I hiked today. It is a very easy trail. It starts off as gravel surrounding a old quarry, like a little lake where the quarry used to be. And it is easily navigable for anybody who has special needs, is in a wheelchair, blind with assistance, anything like that. The bog walk, like the actual boardwalk, is a good couple feet across, maybe 3 feet across. It is nice and wide. It starts off, it's probably about 2 to 4 feet above the ground. There is no railing, so keep that in mind for little kids. And then it is about a mile to the end point, and then you have to turn around and walk it back. My only complaint about the boardwalk is it is very noisy when you are walking. I like the peace and quiet and to be able to listen to nature while I walk, and it was pretty much impossible to fully enjoy the trail while hiking on that boardwalk. It made noise with every single step. It's a mix between like metal and then like plastic grating on the top so that light can go through for the plants, which is super neat. Like absolutely, phenomenal design, except it is so noisy. And it's a very aesthetically appeasing hike as well. There's lots of different plants and trees. I saw 5 monarch butterflies. I saw numerous little moths and insects. I saw bees, some wasps. And I did see about 5 birds. The other thing was there is a bit of road noise on that trail, which once again, just for me, it's not the end of the world, but like it does make it harder to enjoy like the sound of being out in nature when you can hear like road noise and then also like every step. Now I do hike alone, so sometimes when I'm completely alone, like it's a mixed feeling. Like I'd rather be completely alone than run across 1 or 2 people on a trail. Or if I'm not going to be alone, I'd rather come across somebody every 1/8 to a 1/4 mile just so there's consistency. Just because I generally feel a little safer if there's more people, but I feel less safe if there's only like 1 or 2, just because of some past bad experiences that I've had. So walking that trail when I first walked out, knowing that there were no other cars parked there and I statistically wasn't going to run into anybody, I felt very safe walking out there by myself. Now I am armed with pepper spray and my knife, so like I do not go unarmed on any trail, especially when I hike by myself, which is 99% of all of my hikes. And I felt very safe, and I liked the parts of the trail where the trees were a little bit more open and you could see further, because another thing that I worry about, especially being up here in northern Minnesota, is potentially wildlife that could potentially harm you. Now, I've never run across like a bear or a moose on my hikes, but it is definitely something that I do keep in the back of my mind, and I always try to be pretty vigilant with listening for noises as I hike. And with the boardwalk making so much noise, it made it harder to listen for that. And I do tend to like you know, get a little jumpy when I hear a noise, but normally, like, it's just a bird or a squirrel. I did not see any squirrels on this trip. I did see some birds, though. I saw about 4 or 5 different birds. And then I spent a little bit of time at the end just watching, but I didn't see any other animals or birds or anything like that. But it was very peaceful. Very peaceful. It was a very good walk. I enjoyed looking at all the different types of moss, the different plants, pitcher plants. There's many different species of plants that are different from what we have back in Michigan. And also, like the trees are different, and some of them are right up to like the edge of the boardwalk, and like you can just touch them. So it's a nice little tactile experience too. So if you have someone who is like blind and like, you know, you go with them on hikes, like it could be like a very good tactile experience for them as well, just because there's so many of those little pine trees right near the edge of the boardwalk. Some of them are like super soft. It's super interesting to feel what the different pine trees kind of feel like. So it's definitely like accessible for anybody with special needs. Trying to think if there's anything else I was gonna think of. There is no railing on the boardwalk, so like if you have littles, like you would definitely need to keep an eye on them. But worst case scenario is only like a 2 to 4 feet fall. Other than that, the mosquitoes were not bad when I walked out. I think I got bit by one near the quarry, and then on the way back, like the last quarter mile, and then around the quarry again, I got bit numerous times. But I don't know if it was just because it was later in the day. Now, the whole hike took me about an hour and a half. It was about an hour and 11 minutes of moving time for a 2.5 mile hike. So I spent almost 20 minutes just sitting there at the end, just being out in nature. It was really peaceful, really quiet. It was very nice. I had one other thing I was going to comment on, but I can't remember what it was. I might remember it. Oh, it would be an excellent place for anybody who is into photography. Tons of different plant life, fungi, different mosses, you know, the monarch butterflies, different moths. I saw bumblebee, I saw honeybee, I saw, you know, some yellow jacket kind of wasps. It's definitely a good place for anybody who has photography experience. Now, I unfortunately did not bring mine. I wasn't really prepared for this trip, so I didn't have like charged batteries or anything. So I was like, I'd rather just go for the hike just to enjoy it than, you know, worry about, you know, taking pictures as well, which I normally do, but my life's been a little chaotic the last couple of weeks, so I didn't bring my camera, but it is definitely a good trail for a camera, for those plants and for the insects and for the birds and any other wildlife you might potentially see. So that is my trail review. Overall, it was a very good hike. My only complaint is the noise off the boardwalk, and a very minor, you know, complaint over the noise from the road. So overall, I would definitely go again. And if I go again, I would definitely bring my camera. And for now, we're just gonna sit here and enjoy this view. Take care. Happy hiking.